Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank all of you for coming out tonight. It's so wonderful to have you all out in our home and sharing this, what is a pretty amazing evening, actually. You get to a moment like this and you think, wow, before we know it, it's going to be over and we're going to go, wow, that was a lot of fun. But I don't want us to forget all the work we've already put into this thing. We're just launching today. And I have to make sure that we thank some friends. Before we get into the big question, which is why I've decided to run, which is, I've already been asked that question tonight a number of times, which is great, but I thought I'd cover it off all in one shot. We've been talking about this over, I don't know, a little while.
A little while.
Right?
2 years.
A little while, a couple of years, okay? I've been asked more than once to run, which is very flattering, but I've always said no. And the reason why I've said no is just the timing wasn't right, or, it just wasn't the right situation for me. But most importantly, I think it really was the fact that I just hadn't had the right situation in terms of my family scenario. And it wouldn't be here if it wasn't for, my lovely wife, Erica. Without her support, which is unwavering and just a massive power and drive and passion in terms of a movement, we wouldn't be standing here. And it's not only just Erica, of course, but it's also my lovely daughters who are also standing beside me right now, which, come on, right? Seriously. We have such talent it's all over here and over here. We have actors and we have softball players and we have artists and we have writers. And it's because of them that I want to run. And it's not because, it's just them, but there are all sorts of kids in Ward 2. There are all sorts of families in Ward 2. And those kids are talented and they're creative. And you know what? They need more things to do. And so we're going to get into that in just a minute. But now that I've thanked my family, and I have other family members out, not only here in the room today, but watching live from places like BC and Wetaskiwin and other places. And so I say hi to all of them as well. Thank them for all of their support down in Okotoks and in Ontario as well?
Yeah,
and
High River.
Yeah, High River. So, it's wonderful to have family support, but it's also important to have friends. And I consider all of you to be my friends. And you've come into my life and our lives through different reasons and different times and for different lengths of time. But I have some friends in here that I've been friends with for, forever, right? It seems, right? Especially in the case of one guy. Because he's older than me. And lifelong friends, it's important to have that kind of support as well. And, you don't get to any sort of elected office or place without a really strong set of volunteers. And there are really amazing people in this room tonight, and also folks who just couldn't make it because of other commitments, but they're on the team. And without them, this doesn't happen. We don't even get to tonight. So the amount of work that we put together, and when Erica and I sat down, we talked, we said, look, we're going to do this, honey? Okay, we're going to do this, right? And I even got asked, do you know what it means to do this? And I said, well, sort of, no, we don't really know. We're going to find out, right? But, the thing is that without that help, without that support, it just isn't going to happen. So I'm not running necessarily for me. I'm running for you. I'm running for them and folks like them that are in Ward 2 and that are in the county. And so I want to thank you all for your support, just showing up tonight, because man, it's gorgeous outside right now, and it was raining sideways yesterday. And so, we want to take advantage of these days, because in our world, it doesn't come all that often. So thank you so much for spending time. And thank you for those folks who are watching, not only live tonight, but watching this recorded. So let's get to the why. We've talked a little bit about family already, and that's true. But I want to run on three basic things, three core ideas. the first thing I want to run on is building or bringing community together. Now, it's not just a soundbite. Why? Well, you're all here, right? We're starting the campaign by taking action and actually bringing community together. But I've got some ideas, and the team has some ideas, as to how we can expand that in Ward 2 and beyond. I want to find ways that the families can get kids off of screens. Now, I work in the digital space. I've been in the internet business for 19 years. I get the internet and I understand it, and I know the lure of using apps and being on screen. And we need to have young programmers. We need coders. We need people who are going to start a new company in the tech space. But you know what? More importantly, we need that here in Ward 2. And we need that here in the Strathcona County area. And so I want to bring that. Can I have some water? I'm getting a little dry mouth, which is unusual because normally when I'm on stage, I'm like yammering on for 1,000,000 miles a minute. Oh, thank you. You got me all flustered.
Oh, sorry.
There are all sorts of ways we can get families out and socializing and getting to know your neighbors. We push the button on the garage, we roll the vehicle in, or we roll up on our driveway, and maybe if we're lucky, we wave at a neighbor as we go into our house, okay? And our kids are on screens, and they're using apps, and they don't necessarily remember how to socialize face-to-face. We don't tap into their creativity as much as when we were back in the day and getting into the mud and the dirt and stuff. And it's not to say kids don't play, but there's lots of opportunities for us to get them out, be creative, and give parents an option. And so one of the things we're going to do throughout the year is bring community together in a myriad of really fun ways, engaging ways throughout Ward 2. But I'm going to be looking for leaders to help us do that. I'm going to be looking for moms and dads and seniors and millennials and people, whoever wants to get people out, we want to talk to them. So reach out to us. We want to create opportunities for families to get together. I was talking with a young boy and his dad as I was door knocking here in the last week and getting to meet them locally. And, he had just finished building one of these little spinners, the spinner deals, right? You sit there, the fidget spinners, right? He had just built one out of plywood, and he had put a bearing in the middle, and he hadn't painted it yet and whatnot, but he thought he might build a few more and sell them at school. And Alex, if you're watching, man, keep going. Sell more of them. Start a business, right? And I asked him, I said, Alex, I said, if there was a place where you could go in the community, ride your bike, and go make more of these kinds of things, make some stuff with like wood or whatever, would that be fun? He'd be like, yeah, that'd be really cool. I said, well, what else do you like to do? He says, I love robots. And I said, well, did you know that there's a team at ABJ that's like a robot team? Yeah, I know about that. He says, the typical 12-year-old, I know everything response, right? But I'll tell you what, there's a passion there. And Alex, if you're watching, some of the largest tech companies in the world started in a garage. So don't forget that. Start your company in a garage, and if you want to meet a guy who's got 2 robots, I know a guy. So reach out. We need to expand our economic horizons here in the county. There's no doubt that having 75% of the refining capabilities in Western Canada here in the county is a major plus. But you know what? We can't rest on our laurels. We can't do that. For too long, we've ignored technology. For too long, we've ignored alternate energy types of businesses and startups and support. Yes, the county does a nice job in terms of recycling. I think we can do more. I think that we can attract companies from around the world that are here that are not necessarily in the oil and gas sector. We're strong there. We're going to continue to be strong there. I'm a big supporter of them. But we're also going to need to bring in companies from around the world and attract talent, more importantly probably, millennial talent that can start these startups. There's such a thing as the shared economy, folks, the automated economy. Okay? Those two terms are something you really need to get a hold of. The shared economy means that millennials don't want to own a car. They want to share a car. They want to rent a car. And then they want to leave it on the street and go do their thing. That's meaning that if you're in the business of selling cars, there's a whole generation that's coming up that doesn't want to buy your product. And so that is a situation we have to be aware of. Automated economy. Hey, listen, right now in Silicon Valley, you can order a pizza using artificial intelligence on a website, have that pizza built by a robot, have that put into a driverless car, and have it delivered to your house, and not a single human being has touched that pizza. And that exists today. You can do that right now. And if we don't tap in and understand artificial intelligence, Google just made a major announcement. They're going from a mobile-first world, and by the way, there's a lot of phones up right now, which is great, but they're going from a mobile-first world to an artificial or AI-first world, which means a software, and by the way, software runs this world if you don't already know. You all drove vehicles here, some newer, some a little bit older, but they all have some form of software in them, and they're going to be only more connected as we go forward. And so software rules the world. Coders are going to rule the world going forward. And here in Strathcona County, and especially in Ward 2, we have a tremendous amount of talent. I've met software engineers, our neighbors. We have other types of engineers. We have teachers. We have accountants. We have all sorts of talent here. A massive amount of brain power. I want to tap into that. I want to identify those leaders, cultivate those leaders as the leadership in Ward 2, and start changing the world for better. I'm not going to do it by myself. I'm not nearly smart enough. There's way more smarter people out here that know really, really cool stuff, but we need to tap into them. We need to motivate them, inspire them to share what it is they do with young people in the world. And speaking of that, we also have amazing seniors in Ward 2. Absolutely amazing. Who've lived a wonderful life. Who've actually built this country. We need to tap into that expertise. That's a whole bunch of knowledge capital that we have to share with young people. So we have to find ways to connect our senior population with our youth. Get them to surround us around something as simple as gardening, right? Urban gardens. Gardens that people can tend together and learn the skills that have been passed down through generations. We need to continue to do that. Our seniors are critical to our future because they have so much experience that they can share. But we don't tap into it nearly enough. We don't give them the opportunity to share and give them an opportunity to just continue to be useful. They want to be useful. They have skills. They have knowledge. They have networks. Let's give them that opportunity. Those are the kinds of things that I'm running on. And finally, maybe not finally, but man, it's a big one. Yeah, I'm getting my second breath, right? Oh, thanks, honey.
Yeah.
That's great.
You're good to me.
Absolutely. Efficient government. Efficient government. All of us as taxpayers and residents, we roll our eyes and go, oh, isn't it? I said that out loud just not a few days ago, and a gentleman said, isn't that an oxymoron? You know, efficient government. But it's true, we need more efficient government. Now, that's not to say that this particular council or this particular county municipal government is absolutely terrible. That's not the truth. But we can always be better. And I think that if I'm on council, one of the things that I can do is start to highlight ideas around more efficient government. Now that has all sorts of connotations, okay? An efficient government can mean something as simple as making sure that the street lights at the end of Crimson that are over 3 minutes long and makes us late for all sorts of things when it doesn't have to. Maybe it's a little shorter, right? So the red lights are coordinated. We talk to Fortis Alberta, we talk to council and administration. We try to get that issue dealt with. Maybe efficient government means a better plan for reducing speed in our local community. Crimson, I've talked to lots of folks. We went out and talked to folks on Crimson, and they're talking about speed being a problem. Sure, Jim Common Drive, there's traffic calming that's going to happen there. Crimson's the next target. I've talked to a firefighter that's in our community, and he said, look, I said, what kind of ideas would you have? He said, I don't know, maybe we should drop the speed down to 40. I think that's probably a decent idea. I think it's worth talking about. I think that you know, there's all sorts of other options. There's, you know, the traffic calming speed, well, they call them humps or bumps, right? Slightly, I don't know. I think they work, but I think that there's going to be resistance to that. Driver feedback signs, I think, give us data. I think there are certain situations where we're going to have a myriad of solutions to slow folks down in our communities so kids are safer when they're riding their bikes down the street. Because why? We want them out there riding their bikes. That's what we want them doing. And so I want to talk about that kind of efficient government, but I also want to talk about the kinds of things that I hear about our administration. And I've had the opportunity to work with more than just one administration and one council in terms of being a digital strategist. I've seen firsthand within these organizations the silos that exist within administration. If I get elected to council, that's going to be something I'm going to talk about and I'm going to bring to the light. Why? Because silos within administration waste taxpayer money, right? The turf wars and the conversations that don't happen between departments just waste our money. And so I want to sit down and talk with administration, and let's see how we can bring those silos down and make government a bit more efficient. At least get that conversation and bring it to light so that residents in Ward 2 have a better sense that we're working on it and that we're going to try to solve these issues and not waste as much taxpayer money in terms of the silos and improper or inefficient communication. So those are generally the three things that I want to run on, folks. And what I'm hoping for is that they're going to inspire you to step up and join our team. They're going to inspire you to help us out in any way, shape, or form you can. Whether it's, hey, a tweet online, vote Schwabe is the website. Or you give us some insight and the benefit of your experience and the things that you've learned. And I'm here to listen. I want to learn and apply those things that I've learned if we're successful in getting all the way to council on October 16th. So ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you for being so patient. Thank you for coming out tonight, supporting the campaign, and thank you for your help and your support and your spirit and your passion. Thank you so much.